Two companies can have identical science, identical data, and identical teams, and still be completely different businesses. What separates them is a single decision, and it is one that often gets made by default rather than on purpose. It's worth making it on purpose. It's me again, Frederick. In this video, we'll go over the regulatory strategy checkpoint and understand why it's so important at this stage. Here is what you're working through. Which pathway does your product actually fall under? Cosmetic, supplement, medical device, diagnostic tool, drug or therapeutic, etc. The list goes on. Then, how do you sequence your jurisdictions? What compliance will cost you in time and capital? And what's changing on the horizon, 3 to 5 years out? Why does this even matter? Because your regulatory pathway defines the company. It sets what you're allowed to claim, what evidence you need to generate, how long that takes, and how much capital it requires. Two companies with identical science and different pathways are genuinely different businesses. And why this early? Because the pathway determines the data. A study designed without a pathway in mind often can't support the submission you eventually make, however good the science was. You need to work backwards from where you want or need to be. Choosing your direction early means every experiment you run from here on is building towards something specific. That being said, you're choosing a direction, not committing to every detail. Pathways get revisited as evidence accumulates, and that's normal. And remember, founders who understand their regulatory landscape early build companies that regulators can work with easily. That is a real advantage, and it compounds.